Alright guys, I got another video for you. I've made a little game here. Let's check it out. Alright, it's called Coin Collector. I'm going to click play. How it works is you need to collect all the coins to advance to the next level. When you collect the coins, a portal will appear and you go in it and it takes you to the next level. You got to watch out for the thwomps. They will smash your character and you'll die if you get hit too many times. At the top it tells you how many coins you have remaining, how many coins you've collected, and you have 3 health. If you get hit by them, you'll take some damage. Let's see. So I'm going to go to level 4 or 3. I'm going to go ahead and let my guy die, but these are the thwomps we were making not too long ago. Alright, if you die, you have to start over. Click try again, and then it takes you back to level 1. You have 3 coins, and so on. Okay, so one thing about this is that each level gets a little bit harder as you're playing it, and so dying is not really fun because it sends you all the way back to the start of the game. The way I have it right now is if you click on quit, it'll take you back to the main menu, and you can click on practice, and you could jump to a level that you've already been to. So I could click on 3 and it takes me to level 3, and I can try to beat level 3 without having to play the levels before. However, there is a problem with this. Now if I close the game and then I try to play the game again, and let's say I want to go back to level 3 again, I click on practice, and you'll notice that after I've shut the game and then reopened it, it's forgotten that I had recently got to level 3, and I'd have to play all the way back to level 3 to even be able to play it. So I'd have to start all the way back to level 1 and then work my way back to level 3 in order to get there. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a way to actually save the game so we don't have to do this every single time. So basically just like a saving feature for your game. Now there's lots of uses for this, so this is a very helpful feature to have in your game. Alright, so I'm going to start off by going to the scripts folder, and I'm going to create a new script for this. So I'm going to say new script, and I'm going to call this game info saves, like that. And this is going to be another global script that I want to always play. So I'm going to go up to project, and I'm going to go to project settings, input map, not input map, auto load here. And I'm going to go find that new script that I made, which is game saves. So scripts, game info saves. And then I'll click add. So now not only do I have a global variables, I have a game info saves. Alright, so let's open up our game info saves. Alright, at the top of this I'll label this game info saves. Alright, now I'm going to make a couple notes for myself. Okay, I will say this script is used to save information this script is used to save information to keep the player's last save. Okay. All right, let's this is the page we're going to use to do the actual file saving. basically what's going to happen is when we're playing the game, when you're normally playing the game, it saves all the information into memory. Then when you close the game, all the memory gets wiped and you reopen it, and then the game basically starts over from zero. So there's two different types of memory here. We have RAM, which is random access memory. This memory is cleared every time the game is turned off. And then you have static memory. I'm just going to call it static memory. I bet you there's another name for it. And this is the type of memory that stays. This memory is saved despite turning off the game. One of these is considered volatile. That would be RAM. So this one's volatile. Is that how you spell volatile? I'm going to double check myself with the Googles. Yeah, that's right. And then, so you have volatile memory, and then you also have non-volatile memory. An example of non-volatile memory would be text documents, hard drives, SSDs, things like that. Volatile memory is RAM and cache, things like that. So basically RAM, when you turn off the power, memory's gone. And then you have static memory, which is not gone, it stays, like CDs and all the other good stuff. RAM is much faster than static memory. But okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move our information that we need into a form of static memory. We're going to move it into a text document so that we can get the information later and remember that the person has actually played the game before, and we'll load that information so that they can pick up where they left off, basically. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I don't know how much of this you guys will actually be able to do on your PCs. Hopefully you'll be able to do most all of this. So I'm going to show you a couple things that are important. First off, I'm going to create a test directory. So I have on my desktop here, I've made a test dir. This is my test directory. If you open up this test directory, like right click on it and then go to properties, you can see the path that it takes for me to get to that folder. This path is very useful for me, so I'm going to copy this path. Copy. Now I want to save my text documents into this test directory. It's basically going to be how I test to make sure that this is actually working. So all of my files I want to get saved are going to save here, or can be saved here. Alright, so I'm going to save this location for me. So I'll say var test location. And then I saved that. Now, one thing about Godot is the backslash is a escape key. So even though this is how you find file directory paths with Windows, the Godot program is actually going to use a different, they're not going to use backslash, they're going to use forward slashes. So whenever you use this, you're going to want to switch your backslashes into forward slashes, and then this is how Godot uses the file directory system, so for Windows. change the backslash to a /. Okay, so, and this is going to be our location where I want to save some information. There's also a built-in directory for it's like the default place. So I could say, let's say local storage. And the local storage, so this is a special place that I'm saying I want to put the file, but there's also like a default location. Or I don't know. This is basically just like a built-in path that Godot uses in app data. The location is user : //. So if you use this, like it's gonna put it into app data, and then also like if you're on Mac, it'll use their place wherever that file structure is. I don't really know. Same thing with phones and stuff. This is basically just like the operating system's default storage location. So you can use either one of these two saving locations. To get to this place, you can go to project and then say open user data folder. So if I click on that, you'll see this is the app data location for my Windows machine. So if you're on a Mac, you could also do that, and it should take you to the place where it saves that default information. We'll go ahead and play around with this a little bit as well. Okay, so I've got two folders. I'm going to hide this behind there. Okay, so these are our two different storage locations, the default place, and then a place that I decide where somebody might want to save some stuff. Okay, lots of talking. Let's go to the global variables. Anytime in this game, when I play the game, you'll see that I have a path, a picture, and then has the level been unlocked yet? And the first level is always unlocked. Now, as you play the game, if you get to level 2, it will change this variable to true. And then if you get to level 3, it'll change this variable to true. And that will allow you to travel to different locations. So let me show this to you. So I'll go to level 5 and I'll change this one to true. Now when I play the game again, if I go to the practice, you'll see that I can get to level 5 and I can play level 5. So basically, we are going to want to make changes to this level info dictionary. And we want to make changes to it, and we also want to save the changes as they happen. So this level info dictionary is really important. I have it in the global variables. So I'm going to go back to my game info saves. So I'm going to say that global variables dot level, what was it? Something dictionary. What did I call it? I always have to go back and look. Level info dictionary. Level info dictionary holds all of the save data. Okay, I'm just writing that there for us to keep this in mind. We need to remember what is in the level dictionary right there. Okay, so this one holds the information that we need, and we want to save it into a file. I'm up in the top right hand corner. I'm going to go to search help, and then I'm going to type in file. Now I'll hit open, and this brings up the file class, and the file class has some helpful information on how you can find certain paths and all kinds of stuff. We're gonna start off by using their sample of how to save some information. So I'm going to grab these two functions. You'll notice that one of them is called function save and the other one is called function load. I'm going to make a little bit of change to this, but so I will copy and paste that there, function save and function load. I'll say load content is what I'm going to say. So I have save content and I have load content. Now, if we take a look at this, I'm going to make some comments here. This creates a file for Godot to use. This one opens a file, or maybe I should say opens the file at a certain location. So this is the location. And this is the type of writing. There's different things you can do. You can either write to the file or you can read to it. There's actually a couple other ways to write to it. There's write, read, and read, write. We're not going to get that far into it today, but this is what are we doing? So what I was put doing question mark. What are we doing here? I think I need to fix these tabs and spaces things. This always gets us. Okay. All right, this one right here, this is going to go to the file and store the information as a string. And we know strings are just words for humans. So store the info as a string. And you'll also notice this says open. This basically gets the file that we created, opens it at this location as a writing. That means we're going to write to the file. And then this one says go to that file and put some information in it. And then finally the last one says close the file. Okay, enough talking about all that. Let's see this in action. So this is going to go to user save game dot data or dot data. It's a DAT file. Not super familiar with them, but you'll notice that this right here is using that default location that I was talking about up here. So let's write our first file. So let's call our function. We'll say save. And then we want to write, let's say, my first DAT file. All right, so I'm going to click the run scene. And I don't really see anything. Nothing really happened. But if you go to that file again, so you could go to project and then open data folder, you'll notice that I have a new file here that says save game. Now I can't really open it by clicking on it. Now I have a program on my computer called Notepad++ that should let me open it and look at it. Let's see if it does. Sure does. It says my first DAT file. You can also create, instead of DAT files, you can create text documents. So if I wanted to make this a text document, I could change this to txt like that, and I will run this again. That should have created another file for me. There it did. Now this one I can open if I just double click it. It says my first DAT file. Alright, I did not realize I was going so long on this video, so I'm going to pause the video and start another one. And so I guess this one's going to be at least a two-parter.